Question. So if an enthusiast wants to become a dog trainer professionally, they would either have many years of experience to know what the fuck they're doing, have an honest, blunt mentor who knows their stuff, or a good canine school, right? That's the question. Well, for me, I don't have many years of experience. It would be difficult to find a mentor because I don't know anyone, or at least I don't think I have any connections that will help me get to it. I've done some research, and I think my only good option at the moment would be a dog training school. Although, resourcing from my research, sounds like there are quite some good schools out there like Nepopo. That's how I found you, by the way. I'm thinking Midwest Schools Only, Kennelwood in Missouri, Tom Rose in Missouri, and Conifer Canine's Dog Training College. The thing here is you're giving yourself too many limitations here. There are other ways to become a dog trainer. You could actually volunteer. I'm just giving you some options. I'm not telling you that these are the options you have to go to, but you could volunteer. What I mean by that is you could go to a local shelter or a few local shelters, and while you run your day job, while you are working on whatever it is that you're working at the moment, you can set some time aside on a weekly basis where you go volunteer at these organizations. Or you can go to a rescue organization, start by walking the dogs, cleaning the kennels, volunteer to do some training at no extra cost. You're not charging them anything. You really are just volunteering your time, getting your experience. This could be very valuable hands-on experience for you because you'll be working with dogs that are not trained, that have some sort of issue. That's one way to do it. The other way you could do this is you could apply for a job at a dog training facility. That's another way. Without going to a school, you could go there. But you could say, I've been looking at your company. I really like what I see. I really like what you guys are doing. Would you be, by any chance, in the market to hire somebody to do the remedial stuff, the basic stuff that you guys don't want to do, like cleaning kennels, feed dogs, etc. That's another way to get hands-on experience under a dog trainer that does not involve you going to a school. That's another way to get a mentor. Okay, yes, you can get a mentor. You mentioned this here. A mentor, however, they don't typically put their name out there and go, hey, I'm a mentor. I'm looking for mentees. Anybody want to sign up? Typically, that's not how it works. So a mentor is normally somebody in your circle that does what you want to do, and they give you the ability to pick their brain through whatever arrangement you have. Probably you work for them in some fashion. But even if they don't have the job, even if they're telling you, we're not hiring at the moment, go, okay, I'll clean your kennels at like little to no charge. Whatever you feel comfortable doing, whatever they feel comfortable doing. Dog training schools, yes, that's another way to go. I myself, like you mentioned, I went to Nepopo School. I've gone to Silver and Gold under Bart Bellone and Michael Bellone. It was a great experience. My experience with them, however, was once I was already a dog trainer, once I had several years under my belt, that's when I went to Nepopo. So I didn't go as a clean slate. So I can't speak from that experience, from that perspective, how beneficial it would be if I was completely green, no experience. I'm sure it'd be tremendously beneficial, but we have to look at the way that Nepopo schools are set up. They're typically a week, and that's a very short period of time to condense a lot of information, which it's a great opportunity. So if you have the ability to do it, absolutely do it. But I don't know from wherever you are, right? I don't know how much experience you have. It seems like you don't have a whole lot of experience. So to me, 5 days of a lot of information, you're basically drinking out of a fire hose. So I don't know how beneficial that would be. I'm very inclined to say, yes, dog training schools are great. I've never gone to Kennelwood. I've never gone to Tom Rose. I didn't go to your school that you mentioned. I've heard great things about Tom Rose. I've heard great things about Kennelwood, but I can't speak from experience. The schools that I went to are different. One of the schools I went to was US Canine in Louisiana. It was a great school. I don't know what their status is at the moment, but I went back 15 years ago, so I don't know how things have changed. The other school that I went to as a student, I went there afterwards, and I eventually became an instructor there, is Star Mark Academy. Star Mark Academy was a great school. They still operate the school to this day. But again, it's been a long time since I was a student, and it's been several years now since I was an instructor there. But I know that they have a curriculum to get you from zero to having a pretty good idea of what you're doing. So I would say check them out. Schools are great. I like schools because I like the idea of having a curriculum. I like that an instructor or a trainer can tell you, this is what you're going to learn. This is what we're going to cover in week 1. This is what we're going to cover in week 2. So on and so forth. So it's very structured, which I really like. I like that you know what you're getting and you can see a track record of progression from week 1 to however many weeks the school is. So schools are great, okay? But like I said earlier, you don't have to limit yourself to just schools or finding a mentor or, or having years of experience. You can do what I mentioned, volunteer, volunteer, volunteer. Get your hands on, get your hands dirty, start doing it, and realize that it is a process. The benefit of a school is you can walk in the door with 0 experience and walk out the door with a lot of knowledge. You're still gonna have to build the experience after you leave the school, but you walk out with a lot of knowledge. Another thing about schools is you get out what you put in. So if you're kind of a slacker, if you're kind of relaxed about the whole thing and you just expect the knowledge to just get to you through osmosis, but you just sitting there and barely paying attention, it's not gonna happen. You have to put in the work, you have to put in the practice, you have to put in the repetitions, you have to study. There's a lot of work involved in dog training schools. It's not like a camp where you just get to hang out and learn. You actually are working quite a bit. It can be very stressful. Okay, so that's the thing to remember about dog training schools. The thing with mentors are great, but the disadvantage that I would say a mentor has is you typically have one person with one perspective, with one set of goggles, and they see the dog training industry, the dog training world as this particular person from this particular perspective, which might be good, but might not be the best, right? Because there's other people over here with a different perspective, and there's other people here with a different perspective. There's people over here with different experience. So having multiple mentors is ideal. You could start with one mentor, then move on to our next mentor, then move on to our next mentor. That's another way to do it. As far as online schools like Learburg, they are, I would say, complementary options to what you are doing. They could be complementary options to your mentor that you're working with. They could be complementary options to the dog training school that you're going to. They could be complementary options to the volunteer work that you're doing. So I would say online courses like Learburg or other such courses, I would say are good for complementary bonuses, but I wouldn't necessarily say that is what's gonna make you a dog trainer, because as we all know, you need hands-on experience. You need to learn how to do this. Just like being a mechanic, you can't just learn it through videos, you can't just learn it through reading a book. You actually have to get dirty, you have to get grease in your hands, you have to move those wrenches. It's the same exact way with dog training. I hope this was helpful. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Put them in the comments, send me a DM. Let me know what you want to know more about. If you have any particular questions like this, let me know. I'll be more than happy to expand in detail as much as I can to give you an answer and give other people an answer as well. Hopefully this was helpful. Make sure you follow, like, and subscribe.